reading on Mondays, then what are you doing? What's up, y'all? It's another Monday, which means it is time for another Monday with Marie. If you are not a part of the Marie mob, stop what you're doing right now and press that subscribe button, because steady mobbing is the only way, baby. We're not going to waste any time at the beginning of this video. We're going to get right into the nitty gritty. What is today's video about? I know you already saw by the title, but you know I got to be extra and do a little intro. So today's video is why I went ghost, where I've been since I went ghost, what I've been up to since I went ghost, and what I'm doing now. This is basically like, this is everything y'all missed, and here we are now. You're about to start getting weekly videos, okay? So that's where we are now, okay? So in my New Year's resolution video, I don't really do New Year's resolution, that's why all the extra bounce. So in that video, I made some goals for 2020, and one of the goals was for me to move out of the state that I always lived in, which is Arkansas. So I did. I made that goal a reality. In July of 2020, I dipped. I moved, and I moved to Texas. People be asking questions about, like, what is it like when you move to Texas? If you have questions about that, and if you want me to make a video about it, just ask them below, and we'll talk about that later. But this video ain't really about that. This video is about my life and how it went crazy.
It went dumb. It went stupid.
I thought about telling the story in all of its glory, meaning giving all the gory details, but I was like, no, I'm pretty private anyway. I don't like my mess out in these streets, so I'm going to be very vague with my story, just to let you guys know what's been going on. Okay, so July of 2020, I did move to Texas. I moved with a really good friend at the time. We were super cool, super close. Everything was super straight. So we packed up a moving truck and moved, okay? July 4th, we headed on out. We moved into a 2-bedroom apartment, and before we moved, we talked about rules. One day she's like, we need to talk about rules. Is there anything that will bother you? I need to say if there's anything that will bother me. Like, we're gonna be roommates, we need to talk about this. I'm like, yeah, I totally agree, okay? So whilst we had this conversation, I came to the conclusion that anything that I would have an issue with, I didn't see it being a problem with her as my roommate. Like, I'm OCD, I don't like all that messy stuff, and she's pretty clean, so I didn't feel a need to say that, and you know, so on and so forth. She's like, yeah, I feel the same way. We have a lot of the same whatever tendencies, so it's gonna be fine. So we talked about rules. Did no rules come up?
Just bookmark that because that matters for this story.
We move. Everything's great the first couple days. It's just exciting. We're like, oh my gosh, we did this. It was pretty random. She had a job and solidified before we moved. That was like the thing we needed before we moved. Me, being the free spirit I am, I'm like, I don't need a job right now. Let's just move. Basically, you just gotta rip that band-aid off. If you just keep waiting for something to happen, it might never happen. So just go, okay? So I was basically like, after you get your job, I'm ready, honey. So she got her job solidified, and then there was little free-spirited old me. I didn't have a job yet, okay? To condense the story down, to make long story short story, right after we moved in together, we had a discrepancy on a rule problem, I guess you could say, to not put all the business out there. We just did not agree on something, and honestly, friends disagree all the time. Friends don't have to agree to be friends, and that, I guess that's the most sucky thing about the situation, is it could have been handled a lot differently. Like, if someone was actually my friend or actually cared for me, the way that the situation was handled would have been handled completely differently. But instead it was like, okay, so I don't like that we don't agree, and since that's the case, I'm moving out. Since I'm moving out, these are your 3 options from me moving out. So I'm like, okay. The 3 options were me have this random guy that I had just met on a dating app move into that room and pay the rent, to have a stranger, like I had just moved to Texas, so I didn't know anybody, so have a stranger move into the room and pay the rent, or agree to being able to pay $1,200 or something like that, for us both to just break the lease and move out like that. So I'm like, okay, that's not cool. We signed this lease together, so the fact that you're deciding that you're doing this, and because you're doing this, I have these options left, I was like, wow, I see where this is going. I can tell our friendship is over at this point. It was very sad. It was like, I'm irritated. This is what I'm doing. Good luck. These are your 3 options. So I was like, okay, cool. At that point, again, remember, I had no job, whatever. So basically, I just was like, I got to get on my grind. I called the local TXRH. That's where I used to work in Arkansas. I'm like, do y'all need any service? They're like, yes. I'm like, bet. I used to work there. I know the menu. I know the sections. Put me on the floor. I started working within 2 days. So I had cash flow coming in. I started running it up. Then I secured, I don't want to say I secured, God secured. Oh, let me go back a little bit. So I moved away from everybody I knew. The only person I moved with, I'm not cool with no more. She basically was like, good luck, Buttercup. Hopefully we can still be cool. But then she blocked me on everything. So I really don't know what her real intentions were there. Who knows? But, so the only person I knew, we weren't cool no more. And then my dog. If you remember, I put Wendy on, like, I think I only put her on one of my videos. But Wendy is the dog that I've had since the 7th grade. And she passed away right after I moved to Texas. She passed away on August 2nd, and I moved July 4th. So you can see how she died, like, literally right after I moved. So it's basically like I moved away from everybody I knew. I lost the one friend I had that I moved there with. And then my dog, my baby girl, she died. So I'm jobless. Just all this is going on. So obviously I'm not like, let me get on YouTube, because I'm stressed out, okay? I am like, let's just throw in the towel at this point. I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I just didn't. But God was on my side. Again, to make long story short, my mom was helping me look for apartments. She came to town after Wendy died because she knew I was devastated. So she came and she was helping me look for apartments. We saw this apartment online that we just loved. We don't know why we loved the complex so much. We just did. And I know it was just God leading us. But we fell in love with the complex that I actually live in now. It was pretty crazy. It was in the city I live in. I ain't gonna spill that tea. But I ended up getting a job, a teaching job in the city that the apartment was in. So it totally was not planned at all. It just literally fell. Everything just fell into its place. And if we didn't get into it like that and have to move separately from each other, I wouldn't have been able to get a new apartment closer to my job. So like everything just worked out, but I was going through it these past 7 months. Honestly, more has occurred. My parents moved to Africa. I'm gonna put their channel below. They post a whole bunch of dope videos. Y'all definitely, if you're interested in anything Africa, they got it for you, okay? So definitely follow their channel. I'm super proud of them. But yeah, they moved to Africa. So I've just been mentally, physically, emotionally all over the place. I just be having a lot going on, honestly, truly. But I feel like now I'm finally at a place where things are leveling back out. And I feel like I kind of have control over the situation again. Transitional periods are never smooth. Or maybe, hey, maybe for other people they are. But for me, I have not seen a smooth transitional period yet. Anytime I'm moving upward, it's some bumps on the way up. So with that being said, I have been moving upward. I'm doing great now. I'm happy right now, which is great and amazing. I definitely have my days and my weeks and even my months. But I truly, overall, I have nothing to complain about. God has blessed me. I'm feeling glitz. I'm looking glitz. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, now y'all, for real, that's honestly the video today. I wanted to keep it short. I really just wanted to fill y'all in on what has been taking place. And that's truly the summation of what's been going on. I have been decorating the apartment. I'm super excited about it. I'm proud of the progress I've made. It started off a big empty room. Like, y'all will see how big it is in like the living room area. It's just a big, and without any furniture in it, it's just like, ugh. But now it's come so far, and I'm super excited for it to just be done and complete so I can do an apartment tour. I'm super, super excited about that. So stay tuned. Do stay tuned. But now that I'm back, I do have a lot of video ideas that I'm ready to bring to you guys. I'm going to start off still doing Marie Mondays, but I am going to transition into Wednesday videos and Friday videos. Please comment below any video ideas you have that you would like to see. Like I said, I did move to Texas, and I know a lot of people are interested in Texas talk. So if you have any Texas video request ideas or whatever, drop those below. Anything at all. I'm an open book. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, click that notification bell, and follow me on Instagram at Micah Marie X. Thank you for starting another week off with me, and I hope the rest of your week is fine like wine and Micah Marie. Thank y'all, and I'll see you in my next video.